undecided, I believe, in the next 30 days. A candidate may be able to sway you to their side or not. Let's see how it goes. You're watching ABC News GH. And here, because of the elections, we will be bringing you the poll center. At the poll center, we bring you all of the credible information, all of the facts, and all that you need about the election. So you should be tuned in here. At the poll center, we say vote, not violence. We're advocating that your thumb be what speaks for you. If there's any decision you need to take, your thumb should be that ultimate decision taker for yourselves. Don't allow anybody, or don't allow your own self to use yourself as any conduit or tool for violence this election. We are all paying attention to our votes, and that is it. You go to cast your vote and you come back home while we await counting and declaration by the Electoral Commission. Have that at the back of your mind so that it leads you throughout the days leading up to the elections. On Poll Center will bring you information from previous elections, tie it into these elections, and do all of the analysis that we know you would enjoy. And because it is 30 days to the elections, every week look forward to ABC News GH in your constituency. We will come and broadcast ABC in the morning from your constituency. You never know when we will come to your constituency, but look out for us. We will be there so that we interact with you, and also you let Ghanaians know what you are thinking ahead of the elections. Today on ABC in the morning, we'll bring you our front story. Very worrying development that Ghana has detected just 9 months of this year. We'll bring you sports, the latest in sports. We'll bring you Tech Trick too, and we'll come with your way with Ghana Speaks. Today on Ghana Speaks, again, we will be opening the phone lines for you, and the phone line, when we open it, is 0539161609. 0539161609. And what question are we asking you? 30 days to the elections. Are you confident that your preferred candidate will win the elections? Are you confident that your candidate will carry the day on 7th December? You tell us when you call. Let us know if you are confident in your candidate's position in winning the election. We'll also bring you Business Fix. A few weeks ago, we spoke about the credit scoring system. Today, we will speak about it again. We want to look at how we can maximize it, since today is the day that government is set to launch the credit scoring system. We'll have conversations on that. And on our main discussion, obviously, all we all have been waiting for, Parliament is set to reconvene today, and everybody is looking forward to what will happen in Parliament. All eyes on the Parliament of Ghana. We'll bring you live updates from Parliament as it reconvenes today. And on politics today, I want to understand why so many Africans seem to be extremely happy about Donald Trump's win of the USA elections. We have certain questions we want to ask, and we will delve deeper into it. We'll bring you happier executive interview, where that segment is for you and for you only. To be featured on our executive interview, call us 0539161609. You have a startup, you have a product, you have a service, get in touch with us and we will feature you on executive interview. If you have any birthday wishes, send us a message so that we wish that lovely person of yours on happy hour. If you have any wish to wish anybody, just get in touch with us. We'll wish them for you on happy hour. So these are the things we have for you, this tall and impactful lineup of activities for you on ABC in the morning. We are glad you're with us. Stay with us all through the show and you will be a better person for it. I am Abuna Mate. Stay with us. We'll be back pretty shortly. You're welcome back. And on our front story today, Ghana detects 34,000 new HIV infections within 9 months of 2024. Quite worrying statistics. Today on Front Story, we are centering on a serious public health concern that calls for urgent attention and awareness, as the National HIV and AIDS Control Programs has reported a significant surge in HIV infections, with an alarming 34,000 new cases detected within the first 9 months of 2024. This was revealed by the programs manager of the National HIV and AIDS Control Program, Dr. Stephen Eisiado, during the launch of the 2024 World AIDS Day held on November 1, 2024. To put this into perspective, this figure means that on average, nearly 4,000 new cases are reported every month. He expressed concern about the number of HIV infections recorded in the first 3 quarters of 2024, noting that it posed a significant challenge to Ghana's goal of ending the epidemic by 2030, and emphasized the importance of public testing and screening, revealing that approximately 1.3 million people have been screened during this period. This revelation has ignited calls for the need for renewed efforts in curbing new infections and the need for stronger preventive measures across the country. Today, we'll examine the factors contributing to these numbers, explore the impacts, and discuss what's being done to prevent further spread, leading to celebration of the 2024 World AIDS Day. Available data seems to suggest that HIV cases have been rising due to multiple factors, including low condom use, high stigma surrounding HIV testing, and increased cases among key populations. According to the 2022 Ghana Demographic and Health Survey, 17.5% of married men in Ghana have 2 or more partners, and 18.4% of married men have had sexual intercourse with persons who are neither their wives nor lived with them. Also, 18.7% of divorced, separated, or widowed men in Ghana have 2 or more partners, and 69.9% have had sexual intercourse with persons who are neither their wives nor lived with them. The report also found that about 80% of females aged between 15 and 24 had their most recent sexual intercourse without condoms. As of 2024, the Ghana AIDS Commission indicated that females account for 2/3 of total new HIV infections in Ghana, and out of the total 16,574 new HIV infections recorded in Ghana in the 2022 national and sub-national HIV/AIDS estimates and projections, females accounted for 10,927 of the cases, while males accounted for 5,647. Despite ongoing awareness and treatment programs, HIV remains a growing threat. Let's take a closer look at the data, the HIV data available to us. Let's take a look at the HIV data available to us. When you take a look at the HIV transmission and knowing the facts, these are some of the facts that you need to know about HIV transmission. There was an HIV prevention summit that went on, and these are the things that would like for you to know about. To have an unsafe sex is bad. You have to use a condom correctly and consistently if you must. Using a condom correctly and consistently is a must. And never share sharp objects with others, because obviously HIV is not only contracted through sex. There are other means of contraction, so never share sharp objects with another. Take HIV medicines to prevent mother-to-child transmissions. For a mother who has HIV, if you're pregnant, there's a need to take your medication to prevent transmission to your unborn child. And when there is the need to transfuse blood, you have to use only screened blood and blood products. These are population living with HIV. Females 68%, males 32%. And these are the populations living with HIV. Females 68%, males 32%. The National HIV estimates that in 2022 the prevalence was 1.66% and others. But we'll come back to these details about HIV. But let's speak with Dr. Tuahene Treme. He is the Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission. Good morning, Dr. Treme. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Dr. Treme, can you tell us what the key factors are that is driving the recent surge in HIV cases?
Well, the factors are known to all of us because we have modes of transmission in Ghana and in most African countries. Transmission is mainly through sexual contact. And so we estimate about 80% of all transmissions in the country to sexual contact, 15% to mother-to-child transmission, and 5% for other modes, mainly using contaminated shafts. So the major challenge we have in this country, as has clearly been demonstrated by the results of Ghana Demographic and Health Survey, series of studies that have been undertaken by the Ghana Statistical Service, which shows that high-risk sexual activities continue to increase in this country over a long period of time, more than 2 decades. And at the same time, use of condoms during high-risk sex is on the decline, being consistently been declining among both men and women in the country for more than 2 decades. And so that is the reason why we are having this problem in the country, because we have casual sex, which is very prevalent in the country, where two individuals, whether two men or a man and a woman, meet. They've never met before, but they decide to have sex, and it's often unprotected. They don't use condoms. So do we have, multiple partnerships, sexual partnerships, happening concurrently? One person can have more than 3, 4, 5, 6, sexual partners concurrently. All these are creating problems. They are actually contributing to the high number of new infections in the country. And unfortunately for us, we now see many young women and men also using their bodies, as a source of income or a source of living. And that is very worrying, because in most of these situations, protection during sex is nil. And that is what is contributing to the high numbers of new infections in the country. Doctor? And if we do not take responsibility for our own health by ensuring that we protect ourselves during sex, then we are likely to see even more cases. Because if last year, for example, we had almost 18,000 new infections in the country. Now, if every year for the next 10 years we're going to have about 18,000 new infections annually, what it means, we will increase the existing number of people living with HIV, which is about 334,000, that would go up by 180,000 in the next 10 years, and that will push the numbers beyond 500,000 by 10 years' time. That is a major, it's a serious issue that we should all take into account. And in fact, you know the arithmetic of HIV. When one person gets it, that person is likely to give it to more than at least 3 or 4 people within a short period of time. And so if you look at the numbers, then and people continue to have unprotected sex, then we are actually pushing ourselves into a potential exponential growth in the epidemic.
Yeah. Dr. Tuahene, how effective has the current prevention and education campaigns we've been running been?
Come again.
How effective?
Your voice is low.
Okay, pardon me. How effective have the current prevention and education campaigns been?
Oh, it's been effective. First of all, let's admit that prevention among the general population has been quite limited. And so coverage is very low because we don't have the resources to do it. But in terms of effectiveness, yes, new infections are high, though, in the country. We have been able to reduce the new infections, over the last 10 years by, I think, 19% or so. I don't remember the figure. I can refer to tell you, but it's quite clear that we are able to reduce new infections. There were years in the past where new infections were around 21,000, 20,000, 21,000 a year, but now it's around 18,000. So in terms of effectiveness of the strategies and the services we are providing, it clearly shows that they are effective. The challenge we are having is non-cooperation of the Ghanaian people by either abstaining from sex or using condoms consistently and correctly when they have sex, especially casual sex, which contributes more than 74% of all new infections in the country.
Okay. What new strategies are being considered by the AIDS Commission to address this spike that we are seeing? You said that last year alone, 18,000 new infections were recorded. So if there's any new strategy, what are the strategies that you are considering to address the spike that we continue to see?
Well, there are a lot of things that we have in place. For example, intensifying the prevention campaign, if we have the resources, also making sure that we provide pre-exposure prophylaxis to discordant couples, key affected populations like sex workers, injecting drug users, the men who have sex with men, and other high-risk populations. We do not, ideally, we should be able to provide pre-exposure prophylaxis to the general population, but we do not have the resources to do that. And so we have to keep it, just among these groups. And so it is important that everybody takes responsibility for his own health, for his own life, because HIV is still a major public health threat in this country. And our objective is to end AIDS by the year 2030. And for us to do that, we have prevention targets as well, that new infections must reduce by 85% by the end of 2025. But we are nowhere near that target. which means that people, individuals must, take responsibility. And I will keep using that expression, take responsibility, because HIV is, if you don't want to get it, you will succeed in not getting it. And so there is no reason why you should expose yourself to the risk of being infected. There is no reason why anybody should do that. If you are not sexually active, yes, remain so. Abstain from sex. If you can have one partner who is not infected, both of you know you have tested and you know your HIV status, that you are negative, you both remain faithful to each other, and that alone will protect you. If you cannot do any of these two, then it is important that you use condoms correctly and consistently anytime you have sex.
Dr. Treme, how accessible and affordable is it to treat HIV in Ghana?
HIV services are free. Testing is free. Treatment is free. Free not because, nobody is paying for it. Yes, it's being paid for. But the government policy is to make it free so that we do not have a situation where, because of lack of affordability, when people cannot afford, then they decide not to access the services. So it's free, and there are enough drugs in the country for everyone at the moment. And so there is no reason in this day and age why anybody living with HIV should develop AIDS and die. No, because the drugs are available, and there is also no reason why anybody should not know his or her HIV status, because the testing is available and is close by. Is any public health facility you can test to know your HIV status, and it is free.
Okay. Dr. Tuahene, in recent weeks there were reports that there were some antiretroviral drugs and essentials that were stuck at the port at Tema. Have you been able to clear them?
Oh yes, they've been cleared long ago. As we speak, there is no HIV or malaria or TB commodities at the port. They've all been cleared. Government, through the Minister for Finance and Health, they have, ensured that this doesn't occur again. And so now we don't have any commodities at the port.
As we approach the World AIDS Day, what are some of the proposed activities you'll be putting together to mark this celebration? And how will you increase awareness so that many Ghanaians can partake in the celebration?
Yes. We have, first of all, let me indicate that HIV, HIV is real. And as I said, one of the things we have observed is that the numbers of new infections, occur especially where during seasonal periods. So during festivities, whether traditional festivities, Christmas, or any other like currently we are having a number of large rallies, political rallies going on, and these are the places HIV, really enjoy or find, itself, these are the places or times when HIV, spread in the country. And so we really have to be aware that this period from now till January, if people do not protect themselves, use condoms, then we are going to see a surge in the HIV epidemic in the country. And so with this in mind, what we are doing is to do condom activation in the communities, where we will do health screening. We will do health screening will include, hypertension, diabetes, other sexually transmitted infections that we have the resources to test. Then we will add, of course, HIV testing. And so in many communities, across the regions, we are going to see condom activation in the communities.
Okay.
Besides, we are working with civil society organizations. We are working with health facilities and other private sector organizations, all of whom have planned a series of activities that will be happening in their communities. So these activities are intended to continue to raise an awareness and intensify HIV prevention education, and to give opportunity for more and more people to access, prevention services at the community level. And when we do the test, and those who test positive will be supported to access treatment at health facilities. And so we encourage all Ghanaians that they all have to be part of these activities. When you see such activities in your communities, kindly, make yourself available of all the services that will be provided. We will have district, regional, and national World AIDS Day debates on the 2nd of December. And that too, we will want to see everybody participating, so that we will get to know more about HIV, especially about prevention, so that we all would do well to protect ourselves. You see, the important point that everybody should know is that more than 98% of Ghanaians are HIV negative. And therefore, our focus is to protect this 98% of the population from getting HIV. And as government makes investment, as development partners make investment in this area, and if the citizens do not cooperate and access these services or use these services and protect themselves, then it's an investment that goes down the drain. And as we know, the people who are mostly affected by HIV is the economically active population. If more and more people get infected, it's going to affect the growth of the economy, it's going to affect the development of the country, it's going to affect livelihoods of people in the country. And that would take us back. It will actually retrogress the development trajectory, the development we are having in this country. And so we should take HIV very seriously. And of course, we also have to be aware that if you have untreated sexually transmitted infections, especially the ulcerative ones, you are most likely to get HIV when you have sex with somebody who has HIV.
Okay. Dr. Tweme.
So it increases your risk, and so you should have your sexually transmitted infections treated as quickly as possible.
Okay. Dr. Tweme, what has been some of the biggest challenges in the pursuit to end this HIV by 2030? Is it that Ghanaians are lax about HIV? Is it that we are not bothered about it anymore? Or has it become a normal occurrence that we don't see it as something which could cost us?
Yes, that's exactly the right description you have, just given. Ghanaians are complacent and they think that HIV is no longer a problem because there is treatment, and so it's no longer a death sentence, and therefore once you have the treatment you will live long. That is true. That is true, you will live long, but it's better you don't get it. That is also another truth that you should not ignore. It's better you don't get it. And two, some people also think all die be die. So if I get HIV, what is it? So it is the mindset and the attitudes that are contributing to the unfortunate situation of high numbers of new infections in the country. And so we need to change our attitudes. We need to adopt protective behaviors to ensure that we do not get infected.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Chairman. We are grateful for your time this morning.
Thank you.
But Dr. Chairman, my apologies.
Hello.
Before you go, what are the age brackets that are most susceptible to this, per your research and the work you've been doing? Do you see which age bracket do you see presenting more with HIV infections?
It's across all ages, from 0 to, the oldest age that you can find in this country. However, it is more prevalent among the economically active population, and we are referring to the age of 25 up to age 50. That is where you see, the high numbers. However, we also see high numbers in younger ages. For example, between 15 and 24, they contribute more than a quarter of new infections in the country. And so we are seeing, rising numbers of new infections in the younger generation. And that is very worrying because our policy is to have a HIV-free generation. If we can actually achieve our target of ending AIDS and attaining 0 new infections, as we have in our strategy, then HIV-free generation is so important. But unfortunately, that age that we expect to be HIV-free are the ones who are getting it. And also we have children who are being infected through mother-to-child transmission. But in this day and age, a woman who lives with HIV should not have HIV-positive baby. They can have pregnancy, and have successful delivery and have HIV-free, babies. If they use the prevention of mother-to-child transmission services that are available all over the country in health facilities. And so we encourage all pregnant women to test for HIV, go to antenatal clinic when they get pregnant, and adhere to the instructions of the midwives and the doctors, and make sure that if they live with HIV, they continue to adhere to treatment so that they will become virally suppressed, maintain the viral suppressed status in order to protect their unborn babies from getting infected. And during delivery, they have to go to hospital to deliver so that their babies can be given prophylaxis to protect them against HIV and other diseases. Okay. And then they will have to observe the instructions on breastfeeding, because babies can contract HIV through breastfeeding. So if they adhere to the advice of the doctors and midwives, definitely they will have HIV-free babies. And we have thousands of babies born to HIV-positive mothers in the country who are HIV-free. And so why not your baby? So mothers, please take this into account at all times and ensure that your babies are born free of HIV and other infections.
Dr. Tuahene, we are most grateful for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Tuahene Treme is the Director General for the Ghana AIDS Commission. Ghana detects 34,000 new HIV infections within 9 months of 2024. Dr. Tuahene says that this is because casual sex has become prevalent in Ghana here. Unprotected casual sex. We have to take a look at these things. Abstinence is the best. If you cannot abstain, you should do well to use protection at all times. That's all for Front Story this morning on ABC in the morning. Up next is the latest in sports and also tech trick. Derek Kumiki Siedu and Eric Melochinibwa on hand to bring us the latest in sports and tech trick.
We are currently here at Panishu.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
Two to one.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Panishu.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
Two to one.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Mid-year budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Panishu.
When the news breaks,
Hello there, good morning. morning and welcome to the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Derek Kumiki Siedu. Now let's do some sports as Ghanaian midfielder Abdulaziz Issa made his highly anticipated debut for Barcelona B, coming off the bench for Noah David in the 74th minute during Wednesday 1-1 draw in Spain's third-tier league. Issa, who is on loan from Ghana Premier League side Dreams FC, displayed composure and skills, giving a strong account of himself in the final stages of the match. His debut, initially delayed by work permit, comes after spent several weeks adapting to life in Spain and integrating with the team. The 18-year-old midfielder joins fellow Ghanaian David Ojo, who also made his debut for Barcelona B on the same night, making a milestone for both young talent in European football. Both he and Ojo aim to capitalize on this early opportunity to secure regular spots in the lineup. Ghana winger Mohamed Kudus has received an additional 2-game suspension following his red card during a match against Tottenham last month. This additional game ban came following ruling from the English Football Association on Wednesday, November 6th. The incident occurred in the 82nd minute of the 4-1 loss, where Kudus committed a foul on Dutch defender Mick van de Ven. This confrontation ignited a brawl with Van de Ven alleging that Kudus punched him in the face. In addition to Van de Ven, Kudus also shoved Pep Matassa in the face, escalating tension on the pitch. Initially, referee Andy Madley issued a yellow card, but VR review later prompted him to upgrade it to red card for violent conduct. This decision automatically triggered a 3-match ban for Kudus. The Football Association later charged Kudus with another instance of violent conduct, leading to additional 2-game suspension. As a result, he has already missed matches against Manchester United and Nottingham Forest, with the suspension concluding this weekend when West Ham faces Everton. Kudus' extended ban now prevents him from participating in upcoming fixture against Newcastle on November 25th and Arsenal on November 30th. Mohamed Kudus, he has expressed deep regret over his red card in West Ham's 4-1 loss to Tottenham last month after his suspension was extended by 2 additional games. In a letter submitted to the Regulatory Commission, Kudus admitted that he was deeply embarrassed by his action and accepted the charge. He acknowledged his behavior as out of character and classified that whilst he did not recall the full detail of the incident, the video footage showed minimal contact with Van de Ven. Kudus also explained the personal and professional challenges he faced before the match, including negative comments on social media and a recent international trip. Now, Daniel Ailai has appointed as the center referee for upcoming African Cup of Nations qualifier match between Tunisia and Gambia, scheduled to take place on Monday, November 18, 2024 at 8 o'clock at Stade Olympia de Riz. He will be joined by a team of experienced officials, including Kwesi Echampon Brobe, Assistant 1, and Roland Ni Dodu Adi, Assistant 2, as Charles Bulu serve as 4th official. Daniel Lai is a seasoned referee with extensive experience in international football. His notable appointments include 2020 African National Championship in Cameroon, 2021 African Cup of Nations Cameroon, 2023 Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire. He has also served as a video assistant referee VAR in high-profile matches. Lai expertise and experience make him a trusted official in top-level competitions. And now on the UEFA Championship, it was a thrilling night of European football with some unexpected results shaking up the UEFA Championship League. First up, Bayern Munich managed to edge out Benfica in a closely contested match, clinching a 1-0 victory. Paris Saint-Germain, on the other hand, couldn't withstand Atletico Madrid, losing 1-2 at home. Over in Italy, Inter Milan secured a narrow 1-0 over Arsenal, adding a crucial 3 points to the campaign. In other results, Salzburg came out on top with a solid 3-1 win against Feyenoord, whilst Barcelona proved too strong for Red Star Belgrade, donating with 5-2 victory. Brest continued their impressive form, defeating Sparta Prague 2-1, and Atlanta cruised to a comfortable 2-0 against Stuttgart. Meanwhile, two matches in early kick-off also saw exciting results. Club Brugge ended Aston Villa unbeaten run with 1-0 victory, showing their mantle in a hard-fought contest. And finally, Shakhtar Donetsk defeated Young Boys 2-1, securing another important victory. After an eventful match day 4, here are the current standing in the Champions League. At the very top, Liverpool leads the pack with impressive 12 points, maintaining a perfect record. Sporting CP and Monaco follow closely, both with 10 points, showing strong campaigns so far. In fourth place, Brest holds 8 points, tied with Inter Milan in fifth and Barcelona in sixth, all pushing hard for top spots. Borussia Dortmund sits in seventh with 7 points, and Aston Villa rounds out the top 8 with 7 points as well. Atlanta, Manchester City and Juventus are also in mix, each with 7 points. Leverkusen, Arsenal and Lille follow with 6 points apiece, keeping their knockout phase hopes alive. Other teams in the top half include Celtic, Dinamo Zagreb and Bayern Munich with 5 points each, whilst Real Madrid and Benfica are closed behind, each with 4 points. Milan and Feyenoord round out the top 20, sitting with 4 points as well. As we move to lower half of the table, Club Brugge and Atletico Madrid each have 4 points, but need a push to stay in knockout race. Further down, PSV and Paris Saint-Germain on 4 and 3 points respectively, with Paris needing a resurgence. In the elimination zone, team like Sparta Prague, Stuttgart, Shakhtar, Girona, Salzburg and Bologna struggled with minimal points, and at the very bottom, Sturm Graz, Young Boys, Red Stars Belgrade and Slovan Bratislava are in desperate need of turnaround. With only few matches left, every point counts and teams will be fighting hard to secure their place in the knockout round. And that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. For more sports news updates, please follow our website at www.abcnews.com. I am Derek Kumi Kisiedu.
5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia #1 on the ballot. Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia #1 on the ballot.
Hello there, welcome to the health segment here on ABC in the morning. It's always a delight to come your way to educate you on some daily tips. Our focus, as you know, today would have to be on HIV. Yes, we hate to hear about it, but the truth is, day in, day out, new cases are recorded and people are also dying from the disease. Earlier, my colleague Abina Mantin also engaged Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission, Dr. Etiahen Chairman, and you actually had the conversation for yourself. So we're just going to do a brush on this particular topic, but as because the awareness is still ongoing, we will spend much time in subsequent health tips to also let you know about it. So the human immunodeficiency virus, as you know, is a virus that actually attacks the body immune system. Now, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome also occurs at the most advanced stage of infection. Now, data from the 2023 national and subnational HIV and AIDS estimates and projections show that about 17,774 people, close to also 6,456 males, and 11,317 females became newly infected with HIV in the last year. Now, the number comprises of 4,869 youth between 15 and 24, with about 1,698 children under 15, recording 1,520 adolescents also. Now, between the ages of 10 to 19, also recorded 16,076 adults above. Now, HIV also targets the body's white blood cells. Just in case you don't know, it also makes it easier to get sick with disease like tuberculosis, infections, and some cancer infections or disease. Now, HIV is spread from the body fluids of an infected person, including blood, breast, semen, and vaginal fluid. Now, it also spread by kisses. It's not really, that's the perception most of you actually have, that HIV can be spread through kissing. So through kisses or hugs or sharing of food, it can also not be spread, but it can also spread from mother to her baby, just as the Director General said earlier in our earlier segments. Now, in Ghana, between January and third quarter alone, that's in 2024, the number of people identified as positive through texting activities was 34,000. Now, you may also want to have any symptoms, just in case you're there and you don't know exactly whether or not you're actually having HIV. We've always advocated that you go test before. So at the point, HIV begins to make it very hard for your body to also fight infection. So you can also get infection that normally wouldn't also affect you. But when your immune system actually reaches a certain point of weakness, that's when HIV now, aggravates to become ACE, meaning that you actually have entered into the danger zone. So the fact is, some people get to see the symptoms after 3 weeks using the 4th generation test. And some patients also will not have positive tests for up to 3 months. So the virus or the disease will be inside you, but you may not know because you feel like you're not getting symptoms. Some people do experience symptoms at as early as 3 weeks. Others do it last as much as 3 months. So here are some key facts about HIV. So the first one is that HIV remains a major global health issue. Now, having claimed an estimated about 42.3 million lives to date. That tells you how very wild this disease actually is. Again, an estimated 39.9 million people also living with HIV at the end of 2023 have about 65% of whom are in the WHO African region. Let me actually brush you through the final point of this particular conversation, where the risk factors or people who can actually be at risk of getting HIV, just so you know. So having an anal or vaginal sex without a condom, we've actually talked about that. Okay, it's very necessary. Again, having another sexually transmitted infection such as STI, such as syphilis, herpes, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and bacterium vaginosis also can make other people get this. Sharing contaminated needles actually is the I don't know, but it's very serious. Most often when you go to the barber shop, especially with the clippers you use, there's no sterilizer. We don't, the barber shop, the clips you see inside the barber shop, most of them do not function. So it will be advisable that even as you go through your barber shop, it's not only through sexually transmitted or sexual related activities that you can actually contract HIV. Through the barber shop, that thing they use over there, most often than not, is really not sterilized. It's not well sterilized. So I won't clip out when you visit the barber shop. But we will bring you more updates about this HIV status and, of course, progress with this because it's very interesting. Later on a subsequent broadcast, we will bring you more details about it. But that's all for health segments here on ABC in the morning. The show continues right after this.
We are currently here at Kanishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
2 to 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
back and still watching ABC in the morning live on ABC News GH. Let's head straight into Business Fix. On Business Fix today, we are looking at the credit scoring system. Government is set to launch Ghana's credit scoring system today, November 7. This is after Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Vice President and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, during a visit to Yeji in the Pro East District, announced that a credit score system will be launched today, November 9. In the conversation with the people of Yeji, he emphasized that this credit scoring initiative aims to empower Ghanaians by enabling them to purchase goods on credit and pay in installments. Dr. Bawumia highlighted that the credit scoring system is a key part of his campaign promises and believes that it will significantly improve the lives of many Ghanaians. We have already established through previous conversation that credit scoring is a statistical analysis performed by lenders and financial institutions to determine the credit worthiness of a person or a small owner operated business. Credit scoring is used by lenders to help decide whether to extend or deny credit, and it is a prediction of your credit behavior, such as how likely you are to pay a loan back on time, based on the information from your credit report. Usually, a higher score makes it easier to qualify for a loan and may result in a better interest rate or loan terms. Most credit scores range from 300 and 850. We had a conversation a while ago with Professor Isaac Boedi, a banking consultant and Dean of Accounting and Finance at the University of Professional Studies. He mentioned that the credit scoring system is a game changer, and he also called on the implementers to invest greatly into financial education of the masses so that we could better utilize the credit scoring system. Let's speak with him today and find out how we can maximize credit scoring so that the implementers or governments can put together structures that will help us maximize this system. We'll be speaking with Professor Isaac Boedi so that he can share with us how we can put in place structures to maximize this credit scoring system. Initially in our conversation, he said that the nation's economic, financial, and technological developments, with all of these, Ghana is well positioned to adopt a credit scoring system. And he cited Ghana's well-developed and robust banking sector and expanding system as one of the things we could anchor the credit scoring system on. If this credit scoring is successful, Ghana will be the second country in Africa after South Africa to adopt a credit scoring system. So let's have these conversations. Let's understand how best governments can put structures together so that we can effectively maximize this credit scoring system that they are set to launch today, November 7. From conversations, we understand that if there is a credit scoring system, it makes it easier for you to get some credit or money to run that business you have. It makes life also easier for you in that now there is a report on you, for want of a better word. They're able to follow how best you're able to pay off your loans, you're able to pay off the money you've been given, so much so that when you request for more credit, you are given. It helps a lot. And this helps us so that we can better also be financially flexible. Our lives can be easier than it already is in some form. So a credit scoring system helps you. In developed countries, they run their countries mostly on credit system, so that people are able to buy things and pay in installments, and they don't have any issues. They don't have to think about where to get a lump sum of money. In Ghana, you know that anything you want to buy, you always have to use a lump sum of money. And it's one of the things that really affects us as a people. You want to buy a phone, regardless of how expensive it is, you need to go with a huge amount of money to go and buy the phone. You want to buy an appliance, you have to use a huge amount of money to buy it. Every single thing you do, you need to have your ready cash to be able to buy it, your ready cash to be able to pay for it. And a credit scoring system will help us to move away from the ready cash system we already have, so much so that you can spread your payments over a certain period of time. So that if you were going to buy something, because of a system like this, you know that in this appliance I'm buying, say it is about 6,000 Ghana cedis, I may use 3 months to pay for it, and will pay it in these installments. Dr. Baumia wants to anchor this credit scoring system on what we already have, like the mobile money interoperability we already established, like the Ghana card we've already established, the digital system we already have. It is a platform for which we can build upon, so that this credit scoring system will have a leg to stand on. So that we can have a leg to stand on. And it is for this that we are doing the credit scoring system. Is it something you would appreciate? Is the credit scoring system something that you would look forward to? Let's speak with Professor Isaac Boadi, the Dean for the Faculty of Accounting and Finance, UPSA. Good morning, Prof. Thank you for your time this morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. The last time we spoke, you said that the credit scoring system is a game changer. Today, government is set to launch it. What are the structures government must put in place to ensure that we maximize this credit scoring system?
Yes, I'm sure last week when we had a discussion, I indicated that this is one of the one of the key initiatives of this administration. And today we have been told that it's going to be launched. Quite laudable. This system is a framework or set of practices that allow individuals, businesses, or government to borrow money and obtain goods and services with a promise to repay in the future, typically with interest. So if you ask this question, what are some of the structures that must be put in place to ensure an efficient operations of this system? I think the first thing is to have stakeholder engagement, and that is what the government over the period have been able to achieve. The social media advertisements, meeting various stakeholders, having a discussions with them. It is important that we continue dedication. That is a system which will take a lot of issues that we used to have in the banking space and in our normal daily transactions. So we should continue with the stakeholders engagement, lenders and financial institutions, for instance, the credit card companies as well. We should keep having these conversations over time. I also think that a key thing that also needs to be put in place for an efficient operation of this system is to have a data infrastructure. A data infrastructure. I mean, a comprehensive data collection. That is paramount to this. The system should collect accurate and relevant data from various sources, including financial institutions and credit bureaus and other entities. In fact, the data can include payment history, credit utilization, loan types, public records as well. And sometimes they can even ask you bankruptcy-related issues of individuals. That will help the implementation well. In fact, these are the two things that I can think of there's a need to have a real-time data update. Real-time data update, very important. And there's a need to have also data security. In as much as we try to give our data to the institution or the one in charge, it's important to have data security, which is paramount. So these are a few things that I can suggest that should be put in place, key structures that are very important for the implementation of this initiative.
Prof. Boadi, if we would compare Ghana's initiative to the experience South Africa already has in running a credit scoring system, what lessons can we learn from the implementation?
I think we always, in life, we don't stop learning. We learn every day. Even we learn out of negative situations. So it is important that in Africa, we gave the statistics the last time, and in Africa, I think we happen to the second country trying to have this initiative. I'm sure the team in charge might have done a lot of consultations, or I might have studied some practices in South Africa. We need to send people also to, and today even where we sit, we can even check the situation over there. So our people should have some conversations with the stakeholders in South Africa and learn. Even the negatives, we should also learn. I have not had time to peruse challenges in South Africa as it stands now, but I'm sure the leaders of this initiative might have done some work on that.
Okay. Prof, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Professor Boadi is a banking consultant and the Dean for the Faculty of Accounting and Finance in the UPSA. Government is set to launch the credit scoring system today, November 7. And Prof says that we should continue the education on it for maximizing of this system, and we should have a comprehensive data collection structure. This means that there should be real-time data updates on it. One of the problems we have as a country is the fact that sometimes we do not update our data in real time, so much so that you go and look for something and the data is as far back as maybe 2020 or even further. We should have a real-time data update, and this will help with the system. We're looking forward to the launch of the system, and we'll see how far we can go as Ghanaians with this credit scoring system and how it will ease our lives as Ghanaians. That's all for Business Fix. Let's take a break. We'll be back.
Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing health care for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. Over the past 8 years,
on ABC News GH. Up next, Ghana Speaks.
Times are hard in Ghana, extremely hard.
As we gear towards the 2024 general elections, there has been conversations around having a presidential debate. Will it happen or not? This is Ghana Speaks.
Times are hard in Ghana.
Are you confident your candidate will win this 2024 general elections? This is the question we are asking you on Ghana Speaks today. It is your voice alone that matters, and we want to hear how much you are confident of your candidates win this elections. As we go to the polls, various candidates, we have about 13 candidates on the ballot paper for the presidential elections. Who is your preferred candidate, and how confident are you of your candidate's win on December 7? Are you confident that on January 7 your candidate will be sworn in as president of the Republic of Ghana? Call us on 0539161609. 0539161609. When you call us, kindly turn down the volume of your TV set or turn it off for the period that you speak with us. We want to hear from you. Your voice alone is what we want to hear. Are you confident that your candidate will win these elections? When you call us, tell us where you're calling from, your constituency, and tell us if you are confident in your candidate's winning the election. That's all we want to hear from you today on Ghana Speaks. On ABC in the morning, we're bringing you the Poll Center. On Poll Center, we say votes, not violence. Votes, not violence. It is your votes alone that is needed during the elections. No violence, no anger, nothing. Well, we have a first caller on the line. Good morning. Your name and the constituency you are calling from.
My name is Abdullah Salam, and I'm calling from the Savannah region.
Abdullah Salam. Abdullah, are you confident your candidate will win these elections?
Very, 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 very with great confidence.
Okay, who is your candidate for the elections?
My candidate is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
And you are confident he will win the elections?
Yes, please. Why? Because if we want to table whatever gives a candidate to win, John Dramani Mahama is having it.
Okay.
One, he has been a president before. In terms of governing, we have seen how he managed an economy. An economy that was 4 Ghana cedis has now turned to 16 cities to 17 cities.
Okay, Abdullah.
It tells you that he will win.
Okay. Let's give an opportunity to the next person to tell us. Abdullah, thank you. Abdullah says his candidate, John Dramani Mahama, will win the elections. Do you also believe so? Call us 053-916-1609. 30 days to the elections. Are you confident that your candidate will win? Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, my name is Al Hassan Abubakar.
Al Hassan, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Wa West.
Okay.
Yeah, Wa West.
Are you confident your candidate will win the elections?
Very, very confident.
Who is your candidate?
Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
Why do you say Alhaji Baumia will win the elections?
He has a message.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your call. He also believes that Alhaji Dr. Baumia will win the election because he has the message. Other candidates on the ballot paper, who are you confident in to win these elections? Call us and let us know. On ABC News GH, we'll be bringing you 30 days to the elections. We have barely 30 days to go to December 7. Every month. Okay. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning.
What's your name, sir?
Hello, I'm Jones.
John?
Jones.
Jones, where are you calling from?
Jones. I'm calling from Konongo.
Okay. Jones, will your candidate win the elections?
Yes, of course.
Who is your candidate?
Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
Why do you say he will win the elections?
Look, NDC people used to say the economy was 4 cities and now it has raised to blah blah blah. Now let me ask this: when you were born, let's say 8 years ago, like you born a baby, you give birth to a baby from 8 years ago. So from then up to now, what would be the age or the years for the baby, and how will be the baby's? Let me make it clear. How would be the performance of the baby from 8 years or 7 years or 6 years up to date?
Okay, Jones, what are you trying to tell us? Hello, Jones. Okay, yeah. We've lost Jones, but Jones believes that his candidate, Dr. Baumia, will win the elections. Who do you believe will win the elections? Will your candidate win? Call us and tell us. We are looking forward to speaking with you. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Moses.
Hello, sir. Please speak up. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Moses.
Moses, where are you calling from?
Please, I'm calling from Asinfosu.
Asinfosu. Moses, yeah. Will your candidate win?
Yeah, the candidate will surely win, madam.
Who is your candidate?
This, my candidate is Baumia.
Okay, and if you say he will win, how much do you think you get? Which percentage do you think Dr. Baumia will get during the elections?
Yeah, madam, so looking at the policies that...
Hello,
looking at the policy that Baumia is giving us and compare that policy to the one Joama is giving us, nobody will tell you that Baumia is following the election. Because Baumia, he has ever been, what is the name? Mahama has ever become president before. And he has done nothing. And he's coming back without giving us any reason why he's coming back, to lead us. So Dr. Baumia is telling us that what he's done, there are a lot of things that he's going to give us. So Mama have said something like that. Why do you vote for you to understand anything when you come to power? So this is telling her that nobody will tell the Mama where
okay.
Win this election.
Thank you. Thank you for your call. Let us know who will win the elections. Is your candidate going to win? If your candidate is going to win, how much will your candidate be able to pull? 50%, 60%, 52%, or even 90%. Will we see that in Ghana? Let us know. Call us and have your say on Ghana Speaks. It's your voice alone that matters. Like I said, 30 days to the elections. Look forward to us in your various constituencies as we gear up towards the elections. Every week, we will come to your constituency and broadcast ABC in the morning from there. Hello, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, I'm Abu Hassan Wana, calling from Wa.
Hassan.
Yeah.
From Wa. Will your candidate win the elections?
Yes.
Who is your candidate?
My candidate is Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
Okay, so if Dr. Baumia will win, what percentage do you think he will win the elections with?
55%.
Okay, 55%. What has Dr. Baumia done that you believe will make him get that 55%?
Yeah, through digitalization, I believe he can do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Al-Hassan.
Thank you, too.
Al-Hassan says Dr. Mahmoud Baumia will win the elections by 55%. Such a great number. Let's see if that will happen. But also call us and let us know who you are tipping to win the elections come December 7. And by how much do you think that person will win the elections? Let's hear from you on Ghana Speaks. It's your voice alone that matters here. But like I was saying, the poll center is here. Votes not violence. We're looking forward to seeing you go to vote. Cast your vote and your vote only. Don't insult. Don't get into fight. Nothing. Please go cast your vote. Come back home. And let's await the EC to declare the results of the elections. But as we head towards the elections, every week we will come to your constituency. We will come to your constituency every week, and we will broadcast ABC in the morning from your constituency. So look out for us as we come to your constituency to engage with you on ABC in the morning. Hello, your name and where you're calling from, sir?
I'm Mohammed calling from Kaswa.
Mohammed, will your candidate win the elections?
Sure. He will win.
Who is your candidate?
My candidate is Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
Okay. And if Dr. Baumia will win the elections, by what percentage are you tipping him to win?
He will win by 52.9%.
52.9. You are very emphatic about that.
Yeah, sure.
What has he done to warrant that 52.9?
Yeah, he has equipped the Ghana Security Service by giving them all what they need. And this free education is the major reason why Dr. Mahmoud will win, because we have to protect the free education.
Okay,
that's my two views on which I think Dr. Mahmoud Baumia is winning this election.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, so you also let us know who you think will win. Who is your candidate going to win the elections? Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning. My name is Michael.
Michael, where are you calling from?
Michael, I'm calling from Soko, Tyne District.
In Soko. Michael, will your candidate win the elections?
Yes, please.
Who is that candidate?
John Dramani Mahama.
And by how much percentage will John Mahama win the elections?
53.2%.
53.2%. Okay. What has he done that will warrant him getting that 53.2%?
He has ever done it, and he's going to do it again more and more. So we knew and know very much that John Dramani Mahama is going to win the election.
All right. Thank you, Michael. He says John Mahama will win by 53.2%, and he's very sure of that. Let's know what you also think. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Dolobi Kumasi, Guam District.
Okay, and what's your name, sir?
My name is Alex.
Alex, is your candidate winning this election?
He is going to win solid.
Who is your candidate?
Fred Agbenyo.
Fred Agbenyo.
Yeah.
Fred Agbenyo is not a presidential candidate, is he?
No, president is Mahama.
Mahama will win. Okay.
Yeah, Mahama is going to win.
By what percentage will he win the elections?
Oh, 53%.
53%. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
He believes John Mahama will win by 53% come December 7. It's going to be interesting. Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Choco.
Choco.
Yes.
What's your name?
My name is Eric Amund.
Okay. Eric, will your candidate win the elections?
My name is Eric Amund.
Eric, please turn down the volume of your TV set.
Surely.
Eric, please turn down the volume. Hello, Eric. Okay. Your name and where you're calling from? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Tripoli.
Tripoli. What's your name?
My name is Razak.
Razak, will your candidate win the elections?
Yeah.
Who is your candidate?
Yeah, he'll win 100%.
Razak, who is your candidate for the elections? All right, thank you, Razak. Razak believes his candidate will win 100%. Have we ever seen that in Ghana before? We will see come December 7. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Lambert.
Lambert?
I'm calling from Navrongo.
Navrongo. Okay, Lambert, will your candidate win?
Yes, please.
Who is that candidate?
John Dramani Mahama.
Okay. By what percentage should we look forward to his winning?
He is going to win by 69%.
59%?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Lambert.
You're welcome, madam.
Call at 0539161609. Tell us if you are confident that your candidate will win the elections. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Oh, I'm called David. I'm from Bintu, the northern part of Ghana.
Okay, David, will your candidate win the elections?
Yes.
Who is your candidate?
John Dramani Mohammed.
John Dramani Mohammed. Did you say that?
What do you mean?
David, who is your candidate?
John Dramani Mohammed.
Okay, David. Thank you for calling. And that's David. He says that John Dramani will win the elections. Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
Hello.
Hi. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Abubakar Hari. I'm calling from Gushegu.
From Gushegu. Abubakari, will your candidate win the elections?
Yes, my candidate will win.
Who is that candidate?
Yes, 100%.
Who is your candidate?
John Dramani Mahama.
Okay, and you win by 100%?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for calling. Abubakar also believes that his candidate, John Dramani Mahama, will win the elections by 100%. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm calling from Accra, BC.
Okay, what's your name?
Ishmael Alai.
Ishmael, who is your candidate?
Maudu Barumia.
Will he win the elections?
Yes. Maudu go win.
He will win, eh?
Okay. Mama do election to Maudu Barumia. I didn't look on the true. Do and this go near Fina Kanuchum. And people are winning election.
Nakai.
Get your book of Gagby. Do.
Can a win election, say, in your banner? Okay, we've lost him, but he says that he's in Ododio, and the work NPP is doing, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will win the elections.
Yes.
Oh, you're still on the line. And yet, Dr. Bawumia banner your election, say me.
Oh, if I know you, Jaguar, I said, you say, well, if it more. Gan was school far, shape it more movement, Diana, the whole go win election from do.
Okay, it was a banner to 50%, 60%.
If I know you, I get fed patient with question of me.
You
are Yeah.
Oyiwadon. He says because of free SHS, Dr. Bawumia is going to win by a very huge margin. Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Tamale.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Idrisu Isa.
Idrisu, who is your candidate?
Alaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's my candidate.
Will he win the elections?
Mahmoud Bawumia.
Will he win the elections?
Yes.
Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Okay, but he says Alhaji Dr. Bawumia will win the elections. Let's take 2 calls and then we'll be done with Ghana Speaks. Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Prince Fifi Thompson. I'm calling from Tema.
Hello, Prince. Who is your candidate and will he or she win the elections?
Mahama will win the election.
By what margin?
By 60%.
60%.
Yes.
Interesting. What is the reason for his winning by 60%?
Because within 4 years he has done much. What about coming 4 years again? He will do much greater.
Okay. Prince, thank you for your call. Prince believes His Excellency former President Mahama will win this time around with 60%. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Akwesi Ishmael.
Okay, Akwesi, where are you calling from? Hello, Akwesi. Okay, we've lost Akwesi. Let's take one very last caller. Hello, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, madam. I'm calling from Northeast region. My name is Abubakar Samari.
Abubakar.
Yes, madam.
Which candidate will win this election?
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will win, madam.
How much will he gain? What percentage will he gain?
Oh, he will gain massively decent. He will gain about 60 something self.
60 something?
Yeah, 60 going.
Interesting. What is your reason for that?
Because of he's done well for us. He's doing digitalization, free education. He's done a lot for us. So he must win. God to let him win.
Okay. Thank you, Abubakar.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, so that's Abubakar. Ghana Speaks, where your voice matters. Your voice alone, we want to hear who will win the elections. Are you confident that your candidate will win? You've given us such huge percentages that your candidates will win by. Well, we will see when we go to the polls on December 7. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Kwejo Sapon.
Kwejo, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Awoshi.
From Awoshi. Kwejo, who is your candidate and will that candidate win the elections?
Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia is my candidate.
Okay. Will he win the elections?
Most definitely.
By the end of the elections, after it has been counted, how much do you think Dr. Bawumia will pull?
Well, I think he will cast around 53%.
All right. What is the reason why you believe Dr. Bawumia will win by 53%?
Well, the MPP has done a lot. More infrastructures, free education. They have a lot of policies under their belt. So I think they will win.
Okay. Thank you, Kwejo.
Okay.
So you are confident of whom will win the elections. Your candidate will not win if you do not go to the polls. December 7. Endeavor to go to the polls. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Volta region, Achiave.
Achiave. Please, what's your name?
My name is John.
John, which candidate will win the election?
John Dramani Mahama.
By what percentage will John Mahama win the elections?
He will get 53% of 54.
53 or 54. Why do you say that, John?
is because of how the country is going on economic crisis.
Okay. Thank you, John.
Those were the things we are going to vote for.
All right. Thank you, John. Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Daniel, calling from Savannah region.
Daniel, who is your candidate?
John Dramani Mahama.
Will he win the elections?
Yes, 100%.
He will win by 100%?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. For what reason are you saying this?
Because of the country and economy. Okay. And then how things price were moving on.
All right. Thank you, Daniel.
And then I would take this to advise some people that they shouldn't took themselves to take any ballot board so that it will cause problem for Ghana.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Daniel.
you very much. Well, you're welcome.
So that's the votes, not violence. It's only your thumb that we need on December 7. You go to your polling station or your polling center and you vote. After voting, go home. If you believe any conversation will cause you to have any arguments that may escalate into something that cannot be contained, please go back home. Stay in your home and wait whilst the results are announced. It's votes, not violence. We've told you that we'll be coming to your various constituencies where we will bring you ABC in the morning from that constituency. When we come, do well to approach us. Come closer so that we'll have a very interesting and impactful and fruitful conversation. That's all for Ghana Speaks today. The question, 30 days to the 2024 elections. Are you confident your candidates will win the elections? All your confidence will be not if you don't go to the polls on December 7. So think about that and make it a point to go and vote on December 7. That's all for Ghana Speaks on ABC in the morning. We'll be back in a jiffy. Thank you for staying with us. ABC in the morning, live on ABC News GH. Our website is www.abcnewsgh.com. For all of your timely news, you should be visiting our website so that you're updated with what is happening. We're also live on YouTube, and the channel is ABC News GH. Our socials at ABC News GH _ we are glad to interact with you on our socials. Let's head straight into our main discussion for today. Parliament reconvenes today. Vacant seats controversy here and there. Parliament reconvenes today. Parliament is set to reconvene today, Thursday, November 7, 2024, following Speaker Alban Bagbin's directive for a session at 10 a.m. at the Grand Arena of the Accra International Conference Center. This sitting is expected to address pressing issues that have remained unresolved due to a prolonged standoff within the House. The impasse began after Speaker Bagbin declared 4 parliamentary seats Mena and Memphis Central, Suhum and Agona West vacant. A move that sparked intense opposition from the NPP in Parliament, who argued it undermined their representation as majority in Parliament. Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin subsequently filed a writ with the Supreme Court challenging the Speaker's authority in declaring these seats vacant. Meanwhile, First Deputy Majority Whip in Parliament, Habib Idrisu, has assured Ghanaians that the New Patriotic Party MPs will maintain a disciplined stance when Parliament reconvenes today, despite ongoing disputes over which party holds the majority status in the House. Habib Idrisu's comments follow a statement by the NDC's Chief Whip, Anna Daklu MP, Governs Kwame Agboja, who claimed that the National Democratic Congress caucus would assume the majority position. My colleague Samuel Nimadbo is at Parliament and he will bring us updates, timely updates on Parliament. Hello, Samuel. Good morning.
Hello, Abner. Good morning.
Samuel, how is it going at the Accra International Conference Center?
Right. So I'm at the makeshift Parliament at the dome of the Accra International Conference Center, where Parliament has reconvened for its sitting, emergency sitting. However, when I got here, just a few MPs started coming in, but as it stands now, the NDC caucus, you can count about 30 of them who have come in and they've entered into the auditorium and they've taken the right side of the Speaker, as they've maintained even before today's sitting. They came in with their leader and his deputies, the Honorable Kansela Toforsen, together with other MPs from the NDC caucus, came in their numbers, and around 8-5, 8-7 there, they were already here, and they took their turn and entered into the yard. They didn't waste time at the gallery. They didn't waste time with the media. They just went straight into the chamber to take the right side of the Speaker. And I engaged the chairman of the appointment committee of Parliament, who is also an NP for the NDC side, and he said that what the indication they have from the Speaker hasn't communicated outrightly to them as to whether they are in the majority or in the minority, but they are going with the Speaker's ruling, which happened almost a month ago. It happened on 17th of October, where the Speaker declared 4 seats vacant. They are going by that number, and per that declaration, it says that the figure stands as 136, 135, and they believe that they are still in majority. Then I asked the question of whether they haven't taken notice of the Supreme Court ruling, which stated the execution that was challenged by the Speaker's lawyers, and that challenge was also dismissed by the Supreme Court. So by that dismissal and the stay of execution from the Supreme Court, it means that the NDC-NP shouldn't have 136 as the claim. It should be original. You should go back to the original numbers of 137, 138 for the NPP. But he believes that the issue at hand doesn't need any constitutional interpretation, and he said that the Speaker, even on 17th of October, didn't make a ruling or a declaration of that sort. The Speaker just passed in information, and to them, that information didn't amount to a ruling that needs to be reviewed by the Supreme Court. Then I asked him if it is a ruling, if it is not a ruling, and it is an information, then what is the effect of that information? Because on the floor of Parliament, for a decision to be taken, it has to go through voting. This decision by the Speaker didn't go through any voting, so it would amount to a ruling of such. But the NDC MPs maintained that it was an information the Speaker gave, and they don't see why the Supreme Court should be entering into the affairs of Parliament. And you rightly remember that yesterday the Speaker also spoke extensively on this issue, and he made his position clear that no one would be allowed to interfere with the proceedings of Parliament, according to the Speaker. What the judiciary is doing, I mean.
Hello, Samuel.
Of his ruling, and subsequently dismissed his appeal is amounting to interference in parliamentary proceedings, and he believes that that doesn't order well for the legislative arm of government. He believes that the NP should look within to resolve issues in Parliament rather than going outside of Parliament, which he says would rather undermine the integrity of Parliament and will make Parliament less respected. So today, the NDC MPs are in their numbers. As it stands now, I have not cited a single member of Parliament from the NPP caucus. They haven't come in. Perhaps their sitting originally supposed to start at 10 a.m. So perhaps by 10 they will be here to also join the NDC caucus, and would if they join the NDC caucus, then they can form a quorum to conduct business. But as it stands now, we've not cited any of them, either leadership of the party. Remember the last sitting before this one, where the Speaker declared an indefinite suspension of the House. The NPP, I don't want to be using majority and minority. The NPP, the whip of the NPP caucus then, Anodom Pre was here as early as 6-something, 6:05, 6:08. He was already in the chamber, but it is 8:42 here at the dome of the Accra International Conference Center, and we are here to cite him or any member of the New Patriotic Party in Parliament. It is a surprise to many. People thought that they will come in and secure their position, like Anodom Press tried the last time, but it seems they are not ready to fight. They are not ready to engage in any battle today. The NDC MPs have also been saying that today they don't want to also engage in anything. They are not ready to, although they are not ready, they will say that they are not ready to relinquish their position, the majority status they claim they have, that they will not also be engaging in any aggression with anybody. They are just going to sit on the right side of the Speaker. If you come and you want to sit anywhere, sit where you like. You remember the Speaker yesterday at his press conference said that he doesn't have a say, or he has no involvement in the sitting arrangement of Parliament, and it is rightly under the hands of the clerks of Parliament. So it is the clerks that control the sitting arrangement. And he believes that even the sitting arrangement we have in Ghana is becoming, it has evolved over the time, and elsewhere it is not being used. He believes that there is nothing like there should be a side for the majority, a side for the minority. So for him, if the MPs come and they sit anywhere, he doesn't have a problem. So far as they are able to reach the numbers and form a quorum to conduct government business, he's okay with it. So we are here and we'll be monitoring the proceedings, we'll be giving our views.
Yes. Since you mentioned Speaker, let's listen to Speaker from yesterday's press engagement, and then we'll come back to the conversation. So be on the line.
All right, Abna.
It's not my duty. That determination in Ghana's situation, in various parliaments, these things we are talking about, majority side, minority side, don't exist any longer. That's why in my ruling I use the term old school. The British model, government, opposition, benches, and a carpet in between them. And so when you are shifting your political lineage, you have to cross that carpet to the other side. And that is why you have the term carpet crossing. Our parliament is not arranged in the form of government and opposition. And Ghana don't like, the numbers determine who is majority and who is minority. But in our parliament, The practice is for those who constitute majority to sit at the right side of the speaker, and those who constitute minority to sit at the left side of the speaker. That is because after independence in 1957, we adopted the Westminster system, which is practiced in the United Kingdom. But we changed that, even to the extent that the arrangement of the floor of the House is in a horseshoe. The Speaker is not involved in this. After they have agreed on it, they then get in touch with the parliamentary service through the clerk, who will get his officer at the table, together with the marshal, and they will get the names, print them, and place them on the various tables as decided by the various caucuses. The Speaker don't come in this. Please, how can you call Speaker to come and decide where people should sit? It's not part of my duties.
Well, that's the Speaker of Parliament yesterday when he met with the press. Today, we'll hear more when Parliament sits. Samuel Nyimadu, my colleague, is at Parliament to give us all of the updates from there. Hello, Samuel.
Yes, Abna.
Yeah, so we've listened to an excerpt of yesterday's press conference by the Speaker. Can you update us on the security situation there today? The last time they reconvened, realized that many supporters came there. Today, do we see the same?
Right. Before I get to the security bit, so our viewers will take credence to what the Speaker said, that he has no say or he has no involvement as to who sits where in Parliament, and that's the point he made when a question was posed to him. I think he made this point also. He made this point also when when he declared the House. He declared the House to go on an indefinite suspension. Today, the Speaker. Abna, please. I can't hear clearly. I know. There's a sound behind me.
Hello, Samuel.
Hello, Abna.
Yeah, Samuel, please go on.
Right. So I'm saying that I can hear a sound behind, but that is cool. Let me go ahead. So the Speaker is reiterating the point that he has no involvement as to who sits where on the chamber of Parliament, and that is what has many people have said that then he's allowing the House to bring a bit of chaos, because if you don't direct who is majority, who is minority, by outrightly coming to say that this caucus from the majority caucus or this caucus from the minority caucus, then you will be bring chaos, because you have the NDC MPs coming and they want to sit on your right side, you have the NPP MPs coming and they want to sit on your right side. But that is what people have concerns with, and just as today, as we came here, the NPP and the NDC MPs, pardon me, has entered the auditorium, the chamber, and they have taken the right side. So if the NPP MPs also come in and they want to also sit on the right side, then there will be chaos. Then there will be a bit of aggression and all of that. So that's what some said, that the Speaker should have come out outrightly to make his point. But we'll see what happens today when the NPP MPs also come to the Chamber of Parliament. And to the security situation today, there's no military presence as we saw the last time, where the Speaker ordered for the military to come and screen the chamber. There's nothing of that sort today. Today is just the marshals of Parliament that are around, the normal security guards that guards Parliament that are around, and a few policemen are outside of the AICC, the Accra International Conference Center. They are just at the gate, they're directing traffic and cars who comes in, and that is all. We don't see the same heavy security like we saw on 21st of October when the House resumed. Abner.
Yes, Samuel, so we'll be coming back to you. Obviously, today's conversations will be extensive. We're looking to see what happens in Parliament. We want to see if the MPs will be there, especially as they called for the reconvening. So we'll come back to you, Samuel.
All right, thank you, Abner.
Samuel Nimado is my colleague. He is at the Parliament House to bring us all of the updates from them. Parliament is reconvening today. We'll see what happens. Like Samuel says, at the moment, the NDC have occupied the right-hand side of Speaker. The NPP MPs have not yet arrived. When they do arrive, we'll see how things go there too. But let's have a conversation with Mohammed Abbas. He is a political scientist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology about all of this. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Morning to you and to your listeners.
Parliament is reconvening today. From indications, the NDC MPs are already there. They have occupied the right-hand side of the Speaker. How do you see, or how do you envision things panning out today in Parliament?
Thank you very much. If this has already taken place, then clearly there's going to be a problem. We don't expect things to proceed smoothly because as of yesterday, the majority that we know previously were also insisting that they are going there as a majority. So if the NDC has taken the lead to go and occupy their seat, then what we expect should either be the minority will not go, as we saw previously when this same thing happened, or maybe they will go in and use physical force to try, or even just go and stand by their side. But of course, at the end of the day, we shouldn't expect Parliament to be able to proceed smoothly, and business of Parliament also going on.
Yesterday, Speaker said that he is not in charge of where a party sits. Do you think that Speaker is not being forthright with some of his comments?
Clearly, this would not be a comment that we should accept in good. Honest and acknowledge that there is a dispute, a political dispute, conflict in this particular case, and wanting to be objective and neutral in coming up with solution. As I listened to him himself when he said Parliament is capable of resolving this issue or their issues most of the time through compromises and, if you like, negotiations and dialogue. So if these are his own words, and even sort of having problem with the issue going to the court, then clearly we don't expect such a person to make such statement. Because when you make such statement, then who is in charge now? You are the head of Parliament. You are the Speaker of Parliament. And we know the nature of Parliament is made up of divisions along party lines. So that if there is a problem, as we have currently, these two people, the two blocks in Parliament are the ones who have this conflict and division. So they cannot resolve it by themselves. There must be somebody to supervise, somebody spearheading the attempt to resolve this issue. So clearly this statement, I don't think is in good faith as to when, in relation to the resolution of the current situation that we have in Parliament.
Many have said that we are in a constitutional crisis. Speaker has debunked it. He says we are not in any constitutional crisis. Do you agree with him?
I have even said this long time before when this issue started, very clearly, before even the Speaker coming out to say this. I said we didn't have any constitutional crisis. What we have is people seeing themselves as being above the law and not trying to subject themselves to the rule of law. And that is very key. And in this particular case, and the Speaker has demonstrated that clearly, that posture clearly, as if Parliament is above the rule of law. Parliament is above being subjected to the rule of law. He projects Parliament as being absolute in its decisions and actions so that nobody can challenge it. This has been clearly sent out there. It's a message which is totally erroneous. We have to be very careful about that, because every institution and every power of government is subject to the laws of this country. That is the principle of rule of law. There's no institution in this country, and for that matter, no any head of any institution in this country whose decision or actions is not subjected to court interpretation or even, if you like, review. There's no such institution. Okay, so that clearly what we have is a political crisis, not necessarily a constitutional crisis, because the Constitution is very clear in this matter. The Speaker thinks the Constitution is clear in the action he has taken, declaring the seat vacant, quoting the article several times. He thinks the Constitution is clear over there. And then we also think it is constitutional for such a matter to also be sent to court if some people are not okay with it. You don't tell us, because you are not the final, and in fact, you are not even the one vested with the power of interpreting the Constitution. What he has done was implementing the provisions of the Constitution according to his understanding. But per our arrangement, it is the courts, the Supreme Court, that is vested by the Constitution, and they have the expertise to look at what you have done and also give their best interpretation to it. So you don't stick to yours. On what basis do you do that?
Well, Abbas, Speaker said that he believes in the supremacy of Parliament and not the supremacy of the judiciary. So,
please, we need to know, what does supremacy of Parliament means? Does it mean Parliament is absolute? That is the question. Supremacy, yes, you can be supreme over executive, you can be supreme over legislature, but does it mean your actions and decisions are absolute? In a constitutional democracy, even the government, the entire government together, the judiciary, executive, and the legislature, they don't have absolute power. That's why I mentioned the rule of law. The rule of law says everybody, every institution is below the law, is under the law, and must be subjected to the law. So if you use supremacy, it's a confusing statement. Okay? You just mean to say you are above this, you are above that. So you can be above the court, but that doesn't mean that what the Constitution has laid down clearly, the functions of the court, which is, as we have seen, for a case to be sent to it in case we have a dispute, so for the court to interpret it. So is this saying that because they are supreme, their actions and decisions should not be subjected to the courts? Many cases, as we have seen, even the legislatures, the parliament, etc., run into courts. This is not the first time we are seeing such a case. So is he changing everything? What interpretation, what new thing is he trying to create here by telling us of this supremacy? We need to know what it means. Does it mean they are above the law? Does it mean then that the Supreme Court, per the arrangement of our own Constitution, has no any such locus or mandate or jurisdiction to rule the actions of either the judiciary or the executive as constitutional or unconstitutional?
Yes,
you and I speaking, we know the famous judicial review, right?
Yes.
Everywhere, even in the US, everywhere. We are learning from them. We are practicing what they are practicing. Presidential, they are also presidential. We all know judicial review. What is judicial review? Judicial review is the power of the judiciary or the Supreme Court to look into the actions of either the executive or the legislature and declare it either constitutional or unconstitutional.
But the Speaker yesterday said that the court is ignorant of issues in Parliament. If he stands by that the court is ignorant of the issues in Parliament, how then they also look into the matters of Parliament?
Is the court supposed to be enlightened about issues of Parliament? Is the court supposed to be enlightened about all the institutions of government in this country? Is the court supposed to be enlightened about me and you, what happened in our family before it can look into our matter? I mean, this is a very dangerous statement to be made. The courts cannot be knowledgeable in everything in this country that goes on in every institution, including me and you. So me and you, in our family, when we have a case, because the court is ignorant of what is going on in our family, the court cannot preside over that case. Please, we have to be very careful. Some of these statements are not to be entertained at all. This is his opinion, and he's entitled to his opinion, and we respect him for his opinion. But when it comes to this territory, these things that we are talking about, you don't bring these things into this matter. I think this is quite very unfortunate. I'm very sorry, but not to be entertained, actually, such a statement.
Mohammed, yesterday when the speaker was speaking, he said that the president and the judiciary have sinned against the constitution. Does this go in any way suggest that he believes what he has done is sacrosanct and that any other body or any other arm of government shouldn't even have a say in what Parliament has decided, what he as Speaker has decided?
Clearly, it means this and more than this and many more. And people could come up with yes and add to what you have said, because the sacrosanctity, that is what exactly he's trying to tell us. When even the decision of the Supreme Court itself is not sacrosanct, because Supreme Court passes a decision and the Constitution has made a provision for it to be appealed. So there's no anything that it cannot be appealed, that cannot be subjected to further interpretation and review. So the posture that he is putting now, I've been struggling to come to terms with what is happening to us, saying that we are practicing constitutional democracy. And this is how our people, especially in power, are behaving, or this is how they are perceiving things. So clearly, that is a very dangerous path to tread, because not even the Supreme Court's decision and ruling is sacrosanct. It can be appealed. So if he gives that picture, then clearly we should know that there is something wrong. But again, saying that the executive and the Supreme Court, in what way have the executive failed in this particular matter? It's a political conflict between the two parties, the two in Parliament. And as we all are aware of the fact that it has been taken to the judiciary by the majority leader, the former majority. So in what way does the executive come in over here? And that action is Mr. Speaker telling us that that action of taking that dispute in Parliament is unconstitutional? Is it what he's telling us? Definitely, it cannot be unconstitutional. And when it went to the judiciary, because the judiciary, you see, they don't go chasing for matters and cases to come and look into and discuss and pass ruling. They don't do that. You have to send it over there. People have to send it over there. Me and you, even if we have issue and it is not sent to court, the court will not do anything about it, cannot do anything about it. So the case being taken to court is part of our democracy, our constitutional democracy, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's part of the due processes and procedures. And having gone to court, the court is also obligated to sit on it because it is within its jurisdiction and mandate. So where is the failure in here? And where does the executive also come in here? So Mr. Speaker has to be very careful and not be broadening the whole issue to muddy the whole thing such that it becomes even very complicated and complex for us to be able to resolve this issue.
Following the Speaker's posture yesterday during the press conference, what do you project will happen in Parliament today?
What I project will happen, yesterday I was listening to TV3, and there was one analyst talking about it. He mentioned three things. We should expect a walkout. We should expect maybe even a physical fight in Parliament. That is today. And then so far, I'm seeing that it's likely that there will be a walkout. And if there's a walkout, that is what we should be asking now. The question is, if they are not able to resolve this issue again today, what exactly is going to happen? And what I am foreseeing is either the executive now is going to do things without parliamentary approval, which will also be equally as irrational as what we are seeing from Parliament also currently, inability to resolve its issue. So if the executive goes ahead to do this with things without parliamentary approval, how is it going to be addressed? Are you going to send the executive to court? The same court that you said shouldn't enter into your affairs, that we haven't given this approval and the executive has gone ahead to do it. Another thing I envisage is fine. The MPP members walk out. The NDC members remain in parliament to discuss business of parliament and pass laws and rules and regulations. And the executive refused to implement them. Are you going to take the executive again to the same court again? Courts that you disregarded, that they don't have anything to do with because they don't have knowledge of what is happening in parliament. So, in fact, we have to be very careful. We are rather complicating things for ourselves, and it doesn't help anybody.
You expect the speaker to yield to the court's decision so that we can continue with government business?
He's obliged to do that. He is obliged to do that. I've forgotten this person's name. He's also a very outstanding NDC member. Forgotten his name. In the first place, when this case came, he made it very clear, and the media even put it out there. And the former majority leader also even put it out there and referred to their own, this person that I'm talking about, who said, Mr. Speaker is expected to abide by the rule first, and then maintain the status quo. And if there's any further action like he's trying to do now in the public eye, these are things that should be done through the processes and also face the courts, because the channels have already been laid down there. So if you are not happy, you go back to the same court and try to trash this issue out. And then, of course, we know that this is political conflict. If they go along that line, it's not going to help Parliament. So that eventually they all come to a realization that that is not the way to go. So let's go in-house. Yesterday, he himself said, Parliament issues must remain in Parliament. He said that clear. But how would they remain in Parliament if you have not been able to resolve it in Parliament? So they will not remain there. If they should remain there, then we expect the parliamentarians, our politicians, including Mr. Speaker, to employ proper leadership skills, to employ proper conflicts resolution and negotiation and dialogue skills, and build consensus to resolve these issues. If they're able to do that, hardly will any of their issue even go to the judiciary for you to even blame the judiciary.
If these parliamentarians had left this matter, would we have gotten to where we are?
If they have left it,
yes.
How would they have left it? Because it was a ruling that was passed by Speaker, and they were supposed to abide by that ruling. And other party was not happy with it, so they couldn't abide by it. Okay, but I thought that they themselves, within the brief moment, once it's the Speaker who has ruled, they abide by it before even going to court. And then when they go to court, whatever the court says will come and, of course, initiate new changes or whatever it is. You see, it is constitutional democracy, and it is processes and technicalities that we have to follow, we have to abide by. And that is what is not happening now, and people are trying to be above these processes, above these technicalities, and try to work with their own understanding and opinion, which I don't think that is what constitutional democracy is all about.
Okay. Mohamed Abbas, we are grateful for your time. We'll most definitely come back for more conversation. Parliament is yet to sit, and when they sit, we will have more conversation on this.
You're welcome.
Mohamed Abbas is a political scientist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He said a lot of things. He says that who is in charge? Speaker's comments on the side to sit is not in good faith, saying that he does not determine which side sits where. Well, let's go back. Let's listen to what Speaker said yesterday at the press conference for more conversations on that. But before we take what Speaker said, James Avaji has something to say. Let's listen to it.
So I used 2 hours to do my preparation in my office. Then I go to the chamber. I sat in my office and prepare myself. So that's all.
Yesterday, I'm sure you listened to
my speaker. He's the speaker of the second arm of government. We have the executive, legislature, and the judiciary. We are one of the three. And he's the leader and the head of this arm of government. A very experienced legislator. You know, he has been in Parliament for 28 years as an MP and now 4 years as a speaker. So has a lot of very rich experience. So if he tells you that there is no constitutional crisis, I agree with him perfectly. Because the Constitution is clear on what to do at what time. If you take any action, the Constitution says that your action will result into A or B position. And that is what he has said. So I agree with the Speaker. But the House will still sit today. And we will have the numbers that we usually have to conduct business and take decisions. Why not? We'll go ahead and do it.
All right. Should we expect to...
What do you mean?
Sorry, the NDC caucus, rather.
Well, we are the majority, so we'll sit at the right side of the House.
You are not ready to relinquish that side to the...
Unless we are
NPP.
no more the majority. We are 136 now. And then the MPP is 135. Okay? So, I know you also know that 136 is more than 135. So who is the majority in this case?
But per the Supreme Court ruling and subsequent dismissal of the Speaker's appeal, doesn't
Supreme
it make...
Court to rule on what?
The stay of execution of the Speaker's ruling.
Has Speaker given any direction? Speaker only said that per the action of this people, 4 seats have been created.
So are you saying that the Speaker didn't make a ruling? He passed an information?
He passed an information that action of 4 of members of Parliament has resulted in vacation of their seats. If they vacated their seat, those seats are no more in Parliament. And per the calculations, NDC is now majority, 136. So there is nothing like interpretation.
That's Honorable James Aveji, the MP for Ketu North and the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, on what will happen today in Parliament. Let's speak with Clement Akolo. He is the Communications Director for Parliamentary Network Africa, on all that is happening around Parliament and in Parliament. Good morning, Clement. Thank you for your time. Yesterday, when the Speaker had a press conference, you were there. Give us a brief overview from what you gathered from Speaker's interaction.
All right, thank you very much. What I gathered from yesterday's interaction was that Mr. Speaker was trying to set the record straight and to assert the independence of Parliament, and by constitutional duties, what Parliament is supposed to do and what is within its domain, and trying to draw public attention to some of the ongoings in Parliament, what makes Parliament Parliament, and what differentiates Parliament from the other organs of Parliament, and not to allow other organs of Parliament to take what really is within the domain of Parliament. So I gather that with regards to the ongoings in Parliament, that for some time now, Mr. Speaker has been the center of attention, and we have heard a lot of issues around him that makes it look like he is not allowing Parliament to function the way it's supposed to function. I gather that yesterday he was trying to set the record straight and let people and all well-meaning Ghanaians and all and sundry to know exactly what is ongoing, so that his actions will not be misconstrued.
In setting the record straight, the Speaker not posturing himself as someone who is above critique?
I don't see it that way. I'm sorry to say, I don't see it that way. I think that he mentioned the supremacy of the Constitution, making us aware that he is not above the Constitution, that he's abiding by the Constitution and what is within his domain and what is within other people's domain. So you remember that he mentioned that not the supremacy of the Supreme Court, but the supremacy of the Constitution is what he acknowledges. So I think that he was trying to affirm the fact that nobody is above the Constitution, and the Constitution is what is reign supreme. So I don't see it as putting himself above criticism, but some of the things that he's talking about, I think that is in the Constitution, and he was basing his stance on the Constitution, okay. I guess.
Clemens, from where you stand as Parliamentary Network Africa, did speakers' conversation do more harm than good, or has it really reached the destination that it set out to reach, to enlighten Ghanaians?
All right. So yesterday's engagement with the media and to a large extent to the public was very necessary. You realize that in Mr. Speaker's conversation and engagement, he kept mentioning that a lot of people misunderstand Parliament. And indeed, it appears that a lot of people misunderstand Parliament and how it's supposed to function, how the framers of the Constitution put Parliament. And when you look at the larger space of governance, what Parliament is supposed to do and to be in the governance of the state. And he mentioned that even the head of those institutions, organs of state, that is the executive and the judiciary, have sinned against the Constitution, and thereby even sinning against Parliament, because, as he put it, they are colluding to weaken Parliament.
But Clement, is that what is happening? Is the executive and judiciary colluding to weaken Parliament?
You are coming into my domain. These are things that we at Parliamentary Network Africa and as parliamentary watchers have been speaking about over the years. And you and I would attest to the fact that when it comes to the organs of state, the state organ that has been at the short end of the stick most of the time is Parliament. And until recently, we have heard many a time that Parliament is what? A toothless bulldog. It's just recently that we are seeing Parliament asserting itself. So, over the years, you can see that Parliament has been pushed to the ground and made to look very weak. And this, from the executive point of view, you realize that Parliament has been weakened, one, as part of the constitutional framing itself. The constitutional framing that allows the executive to actually pick members of Parliament as ministers. It means that they become part of the executive. That is a weakening of Parliament itself, because the members of Parliament cannot be loyal to Parliament itself. It is loyal to the executive because they are looking at what they will get, appointment and all those things from the executive arm. That is one from the executive side. Then, when it comes to what we are seeing now about judicial overreach, where there seems to be interference in the way things are done in Parliament, the procedures, the outcome of Parliament itself, there seems to be an overreach. And there are so many examples to talk about, like the transmission of even the LGBTQ or some laws to the executive has been halted by the process in the judiciary and all that, and which should not be the case. So when you put all these things together, how was it triggered? It was triggered from the executive to the judiciary, and then trying to stop the legislature from doing its constitutionally mandated work. So to a large extent, we agree with the Speaker when he says that it appears that the executive is colluding with the judiciary to weaken the authority of Parliament, and it's playing out in our very eyes, even concerning this issue that we have been dealing with for some time now.
So the executive deciding to, the judiciary interpreting the law and also staying the decision of Speaker to declare the seats vacant is a way of weakening Parliament. Is that what you're saying?
So how does interpreting the law affect the work that Parliament is doing? So if the constitutional jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is to interpret. Am I still on? But I can hear.
Yes, you are still on.
But I can hear some interference. The voice.
Pardon me, sir. Please go on.
Okay. So if the Supreme Court has the jurisdiction to interpret the Constitution, why should the other arm of government stop its work? I get the point. Yes. So do your interpretation. Let me do my work. When you do the interpretation and it appears that it is against the Constitution, because that's the expressive word, that Parliament has the authority and the independence to do its work as mandated, but at any point in time where it infringes on the Constitution, then that one, the Constitution comes in and quashes everything that is not in tandem with the Constitution. That is where the Supreme Court will have to interpret and indicate that this is not according to the Constitution. When the Supreme Court interprets that, we know that it's final, because that's what the Constitution gives to the Supreme Court. Okay. But until that is done, we cannot hide behind the law of interpretation and at every point in time stop Parliament from doing its work. If we allow that precedent to hold, then anytime Parliament is doing any particular thing that, let's say, the executive doesn't like, or any member of the public does not like, what we will do is that we will hide behind the Constitution of interpretation and run to the Supreme Court and say, this particular part of the Constitution, I don't understand it. I don't think that Parliament is applying it the way it's supposed to apply it. So stay the hands of Parliament and let's seek the interpretation. When we finish with the interpretation, before Parliament will go on and do its work. I don't think that we want to put ourselves in that fix. Otherwise, we will be impeding the work of Parliament all the time. And I believe that that is why the framers of the Constitution, when you go to Article 122 of the Constitution, it is expressly stated there that an act or omission which obstructs or impedes Parliament in the performance of its functions, or which obstructs or impedes a member of or officer of Parliament in the discharge of his duties, or affronts the dignity of Parliament, or which tends either directly or indirectly to produce that result, is contempt of Parliament. I believe that the framers of the Constitution put this there deliberately, because the work Parliament is set out to do, if it is not protected, that work will not be done, because they are set out to oversight the executive. And the executive seem to be more powerful because they are the executors of the law, of everything they are executing it. When Parliament makes the law, then they will execute it. If we don't put this protection for Parliament, it means that every time Parliament will be impeded in its work and what it's doing. If you realize, yesterday you said you saw me, I asked this particular question and I wanted Mr. Speaker to actually talk about it, that these acts and things that are going on, seeking to stop them from doing their work, is part of impeding Parliament from doing its work. So how does he intend to apply Article 122 of the Constitution? You get it? But he didn't really answer it that way, because I know that he also trying to ensure that we don't have that particular friction between the three organs of state still ongoing. So by all means, we must find a solution at a particular point in time. So I think that what Mr. Speaker was talking about is something that is playing out before our very eyes, and we should all be mindful of the precedents that will be setting for tomorrow, because without Parliament, this democracy that we are enjoying, we will not have it.
Okay. We must be mindful of the precedents we are setting in Parliament. Thank you, Clement, for your time this morning.
Thank you too.
Clement Akolo is the Communications Director for Parliamentary Network Africa. Yesterday, Speaker said something about MPs who are fond of going to court with any minor issue. Let's listen to Speaker.
Despite these provisions, the courts are replete with debates and proceedings of Parliament. Most worrying is these proceedings are initiated by some members of Parliament, even leaders of Parliament, who ought to know better. Parliamentarians who are to be loyal to Parliament rather than to the Supreme Court run to the Supreme Court at the slightest opportunity to use the Supreme Court to undermine Parliament. This might be one of the reasons Parliament and members of
also that Speaker on members of Parliament running to court with the slightest issues. Let's go back to Samuel at the Accra International Conference Center. Let's have more updates from Parliament. Hello, Samuel.
Hello, Abner.
Samuel, after we spoke to you, we've had other conversations. Let us know what has happened so far.
Right. So we are about half an hour away from the advertised time that Parliament will be sitting. Parliament is supposed, the advertised time is 10 a.m. So we are just about half an hour away from 10 a.m. And as it stands now, we still do not have members of the NPP caucus here at the dome of the Accra International Conference Center. None of the NPs have stepped a foot here yet. What we see is the NDC MPs coming in their numbers, and some, when they enter into the chamber, they walk out a bit, come back again, and all of that. But we haven't seen any or cited any of the NPP MPs yet. As to whether they will be coming, it's one thing we'll be looking up to before they will come in. We've also got an indication that the Speaker is at the main chamber of Parliament, the main side. So the Speaker has arrived to his office, and maybe from any moment from now he'll be coming to the makeshift Parliament here at the Accra International Conference Center. And if the Speaker arrives here before the NPP MPs, it means that the House might struggle to form a quorum in terms of numbers and even in terms of government business as well. Like I mentioned, the contention still remains that who will sit on the right side of the Speaker. The NDC MPs from morning around 7 to 8 they came in and they are already seated on the right side of the Speaker. The NPP MPs we haven't cited them. If they come in, will they also be joining the right side of the Speaker? It's a question that we'll wait here to get the answers. And will they even come in the first place? It's another question that we'll wait to get the answers for our viewers as well. So as it stands now, just the NDC MPs that are here with some few security men and the media personnel also here, watchers, parliamentary watchers, some are also here and all of that. And the NDC MPs are just entering the chamber and going out, in and out. But business is yet to start. From any moment from now, if Parliament will stay to their time at 10 a.m., then 10 a.m. they will start.
Okay. 10 a.m. those starts. We'll be looking forward to what happens in Parliament. Like you said, NPP MPs are still not in the House, in the chamber, I take it.
They are not. They are not. They have not even come to the conference center, talk less of entering into the chamber. Not a single one of them.
Okay. We'll be looking forward to more updates from you, Samuel. Thank you.
Thank you, Abna.
Samuel Nyimado, my colleague at the Accra International Conference Center, where Parliament will be sitting. At the moment, no MP has arrived at the conference center to talk about being in the chamber. We'll see how far things go at Parliament. But today, Parliament is reconvening. Ahead of today, Speaker had a press conference yesterday. He had a lot to say. We're also looking forward to what he will say today to the MPs. And when he does, rest assured that we'll bring you all of that on ABC News GH. So stick and stay with us here on ABC News GH. You should be also subscribed to our YouTube channel, ABC News GH, and follow our socials at ABC News GH _ our website, www.abcnewsgh.com. That's all for our discussion this morning. Let's take a breather. We'll be back with more. You're welcome back to watching ABC in the morning. Up next is Politics Today. On Politics Today, we're looking at the U.S. elections. Yesterday, the United States of America made a decision to bring back Donald Trump. So Donald Trump claims victory again. And today our focus is on the election and how ideological alignment or benefits from Trump's win is to Africans. In a surprising twist that has reignited discussions worldwide, Donald Trump has once again claimed victory in the 2024 U.S. presidential elections with 294 electoral votes, making 50.8%, leaving his opponent Kamala Harris with 223 votes, making 47.5%. In America, a candidate needs 270 electoral votes or more to become president. Meanwhile, 538 electoral votes are allocated within 50 states and Washington, D.C. Donald Trump made immigration and economy his main campaign messages, and those seem to have resonated with the American people. His win has sparked strong reactions and jubilant responses from various parts of the world, including Africa. As celebrations unfold, observers question whether this enthusiasm signals a deeper ideological alignment with Trump's conservative values or reflects many Africans' complex socio-political ties towards his leadership. This morning, we will explore factors behind these reactions and dive into whether it's driven by shared conservative values, strategic interest, or unique cultural affinity with Trump's brand of politics. We asked some Ghanaians what they think, and let's listen to them.
Donald Trump won the election. Basically, if he were to be the president for the past term, things would have been better for the United States. And looking at Joe Biden and the vice, they really did destroy the country like our president, Akufo-Addo, and vice president are doing. Look at the lawlessness going on, people on the streets naked, transgender. This transgender thing is now on the peak. So if President Trump were to be the president previous term, things would have been better. And this Russia-Ukraine war, the Israelites, this war going on, all these things, he's a businessman. So sometimes he comes to the table with the business ideas, negotiations, and this war that is going on, we could have seen better things. And United States is, let's say, a pillar. When it comes to peace, when it comes to stability, he does well for everybody. So if President Trump were to be the president, things would have been better.
Abana Donald Trump winning there. Because marriage on pound the boy. Because Sanka Kamala put me winning ya. Anka Ghana for Yebenya easy access on the Aquabro. But Donald Trump will have to answer the easy access. Oh, yet no Quabro ba. Yen to me and Cosenia affairs.
And now America, AGS from Trump. Reason because Trump Bamoni, Christopher Yoni, Neke gay can be Trump is small cry. You want me and one, I can jealous, but the gay, Benafeni, what phenomenon you was small. Ni and one Alawake, ni Trump a winner, Baunia Bawin, a jacket like a first position.
Personally, I think that Trump coming back is. I wanted him to win because under Joe Biden's administration, he has had a lot of problems, like the ongoing immigrants who are just flooding around America. That's the most serious problem that they have had. And some of the immigrants who went to the country attacked some of the Americans. It has been all over. So I think the Americans have cried for change, and then Trump has been there before, and he wasn't bad though. So if you look at the elections closely, you can see that the Americans voted for him widely on the benchmark and then on the percentage and everything. Like he won.
I'm really happy for Donald Trump. At least he's a good man, kind, and I know he can do more better than those others. He will bring up more things than the when he came. Yeah, he will do. At least there are more things coming up every day. There are new things coming, so I think he will do more better than, and it will help the American too.
About the election on ESA that happened yesterday, whether Trump win or Kamala win, what we just want in Ghana here is just peace, because most of Ghanaians travel to abroad, travel to US, so we just want peace. Just let peace.
There's opinions on Trump's win, and some people are aligning with the win. They are happy because it aligns with their values. Those against the LGBTQ are happy that his conservative nature aligns with what they believe. So different opinions, different values, and all of these tie into why some Africans are excited about a Trump win. Let's take some from other countries. On social media, we saw that a lot of Nigerians, Kenyans especially, were extremely excited about Trump's winning. Let's take a listen.
Wearing Donald Trump t-shirts and waving American flags, hundreds of men and women marched through the streets. But this is not the United States, where voters on Tuesday were deciding whether to give the U.S. president a second term. This is Nigeria. Even though Trump once called African countries shitholes and recently expanded visa restrictions on Nigerian citizens, here he has the support of millions like Lagos driver Michael Oyonoro.
If we have a person like Trump, 10 of him.
I hope this video will be an additional resource in helping you make the decision on who to vote for this 2024 general election. So the presidential election is between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Immigration has been a hot topic for so long. And as an African immigrant, that's one of the areas that I think a lot of people, a lot of African immigrants, a lot of African Americans, you know, people from Africa who are also American citizens, are looking at when they want to cast their ballots. And so today I'm going to focus on the numbers. And by the way, I am Kenyan and I'm also American, and welcome to my channel, The Kenyan American Home. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do hit the subscribe button. But what I'm going to do here is I have looked at the numbers, and this is not me giving my opinion. This is purely based on the numbers. What do the numbers say about immigration? So what I did is I looked at the first 3 years of Donald Trump's presidency, and I looked at the first 3 years of Joe Biden's presidency. So when I compared them, I mean, if we're still in the 4th year of Joe Biden's term, so I couldn't do the 4 years. So, but the 3 years are complete. So we're going to focus on, we're going to focus on Joe Biden's 2021, 2022, and 2023 numbers. And we're going to focus on Donald Trump 2017, 2018, and 2019 numbers. And we're going to compare them and see when people say, "Hey, Donald Trump doesn't want you to come to the U.S. as an African immigrant." Who says that?
I actually liked what Trump had to say at one point. I think it was in his inaugural speech and then later on.
Many Ghanaians especially have been excited about Donald Trump win. The question, is it because you align ideologically with him? And it seems so. People with their conservative ideas, Christian ideas and all, rather align because of what Donald Trump represents to them. So various people attach certain sentiment to certain candidates because of their beliefs. It shows how much belief systems also play in our elections. Will we see that in Ghana? Will we see our elections, the candidates win elections based on ideological beliefs? Or is it going to continue to be, as it's been for a while now, on ethnic lines? There are so many factors that play into why people vote for certain candidates. In Ghana, through some reports, we found out that people will be voting based on economic reasonings and all. But we'll have more conversations. We'll see how Ghanaians are also positioning themselves to vote for certain candidates. Will it be on ideological grounds, ethnic grounds, religious grounds? What would it be? But that's all for politics today. Trump has won the USA elections, and many Africans seem to be excited about it. But to end our politics today, Paul Kagame had this to say.
I actually liked what Trump had to say at one point. I think it was in his inaugural speech and then later on, to the effect that, I'm not quoting exactly, but the meaning of it was, they don't seek, meaning America should not, or his administration should not be seeking to dictate to others, to change their ways and live like maybe Americans want to live their lives. But, very importantly, he said, let us be the light, the shining light that can influence people to follow their ways. Here there is a distinction which I think is the most important thing I'm pointing out. Instead of dictating to people to live in a certain way that you have decided for them, actually enable them to see the good in the way of your life and the way you live your life. so that they are attracted to it. They can actually, emulate. It's what I mean. So, to the West, I would say, no, be the shining light, rather than forcing people things down their throat. I actually liked what Trump had to say at one point. I think it was in his inaugural speech and then later on, to the effect that, I'm not quoting exactly, but the meaning of it was, they don't seek, meaning America should not, or his administration should not be seeking to dictate to others, to change their ways and live like maybe Americans want to live their lives. But, very importantly, he said, let us be the light, the shining light that can influence people to follow their ways. Here there is a distinction, which I think is the most important thing I'm pointing out. Instead of dictating to people to live in a certain way that you have decided for them, actually enable them to see the good in the way of your life and the way you live your life, so that they are attracted to it. They can actually, emulate. It's what I mean. So, to the West, I would say, no, be the shining light, rather than follow it. It's what I mean. So, to the West, I would say, no.
Kagame of Rwanda, his speech also about this win. The NPP yesterday, the New Patriotic Party, also released a statement on congratulating Trump of the United States of America. Let's read that to you, and then you would see. It says, dated November 6th, 2024, NPP congratulates its sister party, the Republican Party of the United States, and His Excellency Donald Trump for winning the U.S. general elections. The New Patriotic Party is pleased to join the rest of the world to officially congratulate its counterpart in the United States, the Republican Party, the President-elect His Excellency Donald Trump, and the Vice President-elect His Excellency J.D. Vance for emerging victorious in the just-ended 2024 U.S. elections. This victory, without a doubt, is an emphatic endorsement of the vision and ideals of the Republican Party by the good people of the United States. The NPP also congratulates the United States of America for chalking yet another significant milestone in its democratic credentials following the peaceful conduct of the elections. America has once again shown the way, and we in Ghana have some useful lessons to learn from this American example, particularly as we prepare to go to the polls on December 7, 2024. It is no secret that the NPP has a long-standing close relationship with the Republican Party and shares a lot of things in common with the Republicans, including the great elephant symbol, political orientation, and ideology, as we both belong to the Global Alliance of Center-Right political parties, the International Democratic Union, IDU. To this extent, we are excited to learn that increasingly center-right philosophies are receiving overwhelming support across the globe. It is our fervent hope that, just like the United States, Ghana's Elephant Party will also emerge victorious in the December polls by the grace of God. This is so particularly because both Presidents Trump and His Excellency Dr. Bawumia share bold solutions for their respective countries. Once again, the NPP congratulates the Republican Party and the President-elect His Excellency Donald Trump. We wish the Trump administration the very best in their tenure of office, as the incoming Bawumia administration, by God's grace, hopes to build on the already fruitful relationship between the two political parties and nations for mutual benefits. Indeed, the elephant is the winning symbol. It is possible. signed Justin Kodua Frimpong, General Secretary. The NDC also released a statement yesterday congratulating His Excellency Trump of the United States. And this is the NDC's press statements for immediate release, dated 6th November 2024. NDC congratulates Donald J. Trump, President-elect of the United States of America. The National Democratic Congress extends heartfelt congratulations to President-elect of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, on his resounding victory in yesterday's election. This decisive victory marks the return of the former president of the United States to the White House after just 4 years of exiting office. The development is a good omen for us in the NDC and a sign of great things to come, given the stark parallels it presents as Ghanaians head to the polls to elect a new president on December 7th. Just as Americans have chosen to reset their future with experienced leadership, we believe that Ghanaians will reject the current government's 8 years of insensitivity, corruption, and economic mismanagement. The NDC stands ready to bring stability, integrity, and renewed hope to Ghana, signed Fifi Fiavikwete, General Secretary. The NDC's leader or presidential candidate, John Mahama, also sent a congratulatory message to President Donald Trump. Let's see what he also said. He also congratulated him on winning the elections in America. So we'll see what he also said. He says, congratulations. You would see on social media that various countries have congratulated Trump on his win. Various countries have congratulated Trump on his win. Many of them African countries who are congratulating him on emerging victorious from this election. Our own President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, also congratulated Donald Trump on winning the elections. And these are some of them. Let me read John Mahama's congratulatory message. He says, congratulations, former President at real Donald Trump, on your re-election as President of the United States of America. I trust your re-election will bring greater prosperity to the American people and strengthen peace, security, and economic growth worldwide. This is what President Akufo-Addo also sent to Donald Trump. He says, dear President-elect Trump, warm congratulations to you on your remarkable victory in the U.S. presidential election, becoming the 47th President of the United States of America. This achievement speaks volumes about the confidence the American people have placed in you and your vision for their future. He goes on and says, warm regards from Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. So these are some of the congratulatory messages going to the president-elect from America. Like we are saying, are people aligning based on what? And some have said why they align. There's a video from Nigeria also on congratulating Donald Trump. Let's listen to that. Say Donald Trump, America. 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 Say Donald. That's all for politics today. Trump's victory in the USA and how Africans are excited about it because of certain alignments and leanings. Up next is Happy Hour. On Happy Hour, we give you the opportunity to wish your friends, your loved ones a happy birthday. Get in touch with us via our socials and wish them a happy birthday. Happy Hour. We have some birthday wishes. So this is from family and friends to Emmanuel Ni Afra. Happy birthday. Emmanuel Niafra. We are so grateful for the joy, love, and laughter you bring into our lives. Today, we celebrate the amazing person you are and the countless ways you make the world brighter. May this year be filled with wonderful surprises, boundless happiness, and all the dreams you are working towards. We love you endlessly and wish you a day as incredible as you are. So this is from your friends and family. Happy birthday, Emmanuel Niafra. And this is also to Nancy Na Lomotele Lomote, coming from Bridget. Happy birthday, Nancy. May this day bring you joy, laughter, and unforgettable memories. Cheers to another year of adventure and success. Your heart be filled with love, your life with purpose, and your future with boundless possibilities. So Nancy Na Lomotele Lomote, this is coming from Bridget to you. A happy birthday. If you also want to send a happy birthday to your friends, get in touch with us and we will help you do that. Let's do a throwback to when President Akufo-Addo was sworn in on 7th of January 2017.
Arrives to be sworn in and to take the oath of office.
Swear, so she can also become the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana.
I, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the Republic of Ghana.
And allegiance to the Republic of Ghana.
As by law established.
As by law established.
That I will uphold the sovereignty.
That I will uphold the sovereignty.
And integrity of Ghana.
And integrity of Ghana.
And that I will preserve.
And that I will preserve.
Protect. And defend the Constitution.
And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
That's President Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo when he was sworn in the first time on 7th January 2017. Today is a Thursday, Throwback Thursday. We'll do well to bring you some throwbacks, especially around elections as we head towards 7th December elections. Ghanaians will make a determination on who leads their country. So we'll be bringing you all of those as we gear towards the elections. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to be a part of our show, we're glad to hear from you. You can contact us on 053-916-1609. Today we brought you Front Story. We looked at the increased number of persons with HIV infections. We also looked at whether you are confident your candidate will win on Ghana Speaks. And then we looked at Parliament reconvening today. We'll bring you more on Parliament as the day unfolds. For more news, visit our website www.abcnewsgh.com. But like we learned today when we had the conversation on HIV/AIDS, abstinence is the best. If you're unable to abstain, kindly use a condom so that you can be protecting yourself from the HIV. Thank you for staying with us on ABC in the Morning. I am Abena Mante. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kamisu
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
221.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
make my brain work better. And I so needed it at that moment. My life got better. I got happier. It is a pathway to a happy life, I think, having a very healthy, big, fat, fluffy brain.
Do you think people appreciate the importance of their brain?
No, I think they ignore it all the time. And I think that is part of my message to everybody, that the human brain, that is the one in your head right now, is the most complex structure known to humankind. Not Einstein's brain, not Marie Curie's brain, but the one in your head. And when you think about that, it gives you more of a self-appreciation of all of the computations that is taking for me to see you and appreciate your face and be able to remember your face next time I see you when I go to my Diary of a CEO podcast and choose an episode. All of that is such a complex structure. You start to appreciate your own kind of brain functioning more. I think that's a very important thing to do.
Why don't we appreciate our brains? Because we appreciate a lot of other things.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time on our muscles.
Yeah, our abs.
Yeah.
I think that that's a great analogy. And part of my goal is to kind of shift the focus from focusing on certain body parts to focusing on what our brain is doing for us, what it can do for us, and what we can do to change our environments to get to that big, fat, fluffy brain, to get it healthy, to get it happy, to get it growing.
If I achieve a big, fat, fluffy brain, how would my life be different? I'm saying me, Steve Bartlett. I'm a podcaster. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in relationships. I've got friends, girlfriend, family.
Yeah.
How would I show up differently if I was able to make my brain big, fat, and fluffy?
Yeah. So let me start with the two areas that we know respond really, really well to things like meditation and exercise. Those two brain areas are the hippocampus, critical for long-term memory, your ability to form and retain new long-term memories and for facts and events. And the second brain area is your prefrontal cortex right behind your forehead, critical for your ability to shift and focus attention. It's important for your personality, for decision-making.
Can you show me on there? You brought
absolutely. I brought a human brain.
Let's
bring that.
You have a model of a brain as well.
I have a model of the brain. Okay, let's start with the model of the brain. So here is a model of the human brain. So there's a front part and a back